Do I flex things in my collection? Yes, of course I do. But it's not the things that you would think of. I like to flex things like this. Look at that beautiful box. Physical media at its peak. I remember the first time I saw this game, I was so jealous of my friend for having Imagic, and I didn't have Squad. These are some of the best looking boxes that the video game industry has ever created. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. You know, sometimes you just sit back and these boxes just take me to a different time, right? This box is when I was a kid, man. I was so jealous of my friend that had Intellivision, and they had the Imagic boxes, man. I would just go over to his house, and I remember when I first got there, he wouldn't let me play, you know, so so I sit there, you know, and just stare at these boxes, and I was just amazed, you know, at the color, at the chrome, at everything, you know, everything that you got with a box, you know, especially the overlays. There's so much here, right? There's so much here, and there's so much more value in these boxes than there is in gaming today, right? And when people ask me, well, why are you so nostalgic for these games where the graphics are not the best or whatever? They were the best at their time, especially in television. Television was the PlayStation of its time. But it's not only that, right? It was a different time where creators really cared about their craft, and they showed you in the boxes. What they created was so special to them is that they wanted to present it very well for you. And there was no magazines back then. There was no internet. So the box, the way they would put things in a box was everything. You would just have to judge it from the picture sometimes if your friends didn't tell you about the game. Sometimes you go to the video game store, maybe you got lucky and your parents say, okay, get a game, and you had to make a decision right then and there. Well, what if you didn't know? It was all about the box. And one of the things that Imagic did, they always put, you know, screenshots of the games in the back, a fairly substantive description in the back, and it's just great, you know. And I could sit there, you know, and tell you, and we can discuss, you know, but there's nothing like showing you, right? There's nothing like showing you. If you compare, right, what video games are today, you know, modern video games, whatever, and you compare it to this, what do you think is the better value? Who is putting more work into their craft? Now the boxes are an afterthought, right? Now they don't even want to produce the boxes because it loses companies money. They didn't think in those terms back then. It was a different environment. The box was actually part of the marketing. Now it's all about social media. It's about, you know, commercials, whatever. But the presentation of the product in the box is never is never at the top of the list, right? So let me just show you side by side what we have today buying these video games and what we had back then. Alright guys, so let's do a side-by-side comparison here. So here's a typical PlayStation 5 game. Yeah, believe it or not, I have PlayStation 5. I have all of them, right? I just like talking about retro games more. But what do we get here? I got a code. I'm not going to show you a code, obviously. But, you know, that's what you get. You get a disc and a sheet. Right? That's it. Now, you know, what is a presentation? You get a little bit of a story, some screenshots, and a lot of legal jargon. Is that a great presentation for a game? I don't know. I would say not when you compare it to something like this. Look at microsearch. All right, if we get microsearch, oh, wow, look at that. Full manual, right? I got my overlays. I got the game cartridge, right? And on top of that, look at the box. Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. Isn't that cool? Microsurgeon, great game, by the way, in case you haven't tried it. If you love retro, give yourself a little taste of the glory, if you will. Safecracker, the one I was showing you, same thing, right? To get the similar experience today, here's the Xbox Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is my, I know it's an unpopular opinion, right? But this is my favorite Assassin's Creed game, especially with the intro scene. Okay, so Odin is with us, but to get a steelbook, right, to get all the bells and whistles that I got with this, you're looking at 100 crispy, so it has to be a special edition over and above to get a steelbook, to buy extra content that should already been on the game, if you ask me, right? Like, if you made the game, why do I have to buy a special edition in order to get everything in the game? Right? You're trying to, milk every single cent out of customers. But that's the market today. So that's why I tell you, is it a better experience? Not in my point of view. Right? I mean, the games run smoother, better graphics, all that stuff, of course. But is it a better gaming experience overall for the player within the context of the technology that we live in? I think retro gaming is still far and above the better experience between the two. Well, guys, that was the video. As you can see, there is no comparison. Unless you're buying indie games, you're not getting this kind of quality. And nobody's making these silver boxes anymore. I don't think so. But man, what great memories do they bring in. I wish the industry would go back to this. It's not going to happen, but at least we get to have it in independent titles, right? Indie developers that make games for our favorite consoles still put an effort to make, boxes for us and give us all the goodies like they used to before. But modern gaming doesn't have any of that. Is modern gaming better as far as graphics, as far as, delivery systems, as far as speed? Yeah, sure. Is it a better experience overall? I would say no. And I've lived through all eras, guys. I think that putting your product in a package that you're proud of, that is good to look at, that people not only play, but also display, is a better experience overall. But that's not gaming today. But I'm sure happy that that was gaming back when I grew up and I got to enjoy it fully. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Did you love Imagic? Did you like their games? I sure as hell did. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.